24. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with
Liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Yes, Mayor. Quorum is present for the City Council, Successor Agency, and Housing Authority.
Ready for public comment. Any persons that wish to address the City Council on any items on the agenda, Successor Agency Housing Authority, may do so at this time.
Mayor,
Yes.
we do have a public comment in regards to DR1, and that's been passed out to Mayor and Council.
All right.
Thank you.
That's great. And so if we can line up right along the back wall. Thank you so much. First speaker.
An amazing afternoon to our council members and esteemed guests. I am here today to respectfully request and speak to agenda item DR1 concerning the board appointment selection for the Climate Resilience District. The project holds significant implications for the future of Inglewood, and it's essential that we prioritize transparency and clarity in every step of this process. The community deserves a clear understanding of the selection process, the criteria being used, and the qualifications of the individuals recommended for appointment. Most importantly, the people of Inglewood, the very residents that this project will impact, should have an opportunity to participate in the selection process. It's critical that we involve constituents early on, not only to ensure accountability, but to also foster trust and support for the decisions made by this board. The voices of our community matter, and we should take the time to hear them before moving forward. Additionally, I would like to recommend that future meetings concerning this project be rescheduled to times that accommodate the majority of the residents, especially working individuals. This project will directly affect our community, and it's vital that meeting times are accessible to everyone who wishes to be involved. We cannot afford to make decisions of this magnitude without full public input. Furthermore, I must bring to our attention that many are aware of the concerns being raised by key stakeholders in our entertainment district. These entities have voiced their opposition to the project as it stands. Given their significance in the local economy and their role in shaping the identity of Inglewood, I believe it would be premature to establish a board before addressing their concerns and finding common ground. Their input is not just valuable, but crucial to ensuring the district's and project's success and harmony with the broader community. To that end, I implore that the decision be postponed. I respectfully ask for council members to move and second this request to postpone in the spirit of transparency and collaboration for the benefit of our entire community. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Is there a council person that will make the move?
Ma'am, it's public comment now.
I too ask that we have a motion from a council member to move to postpone this agenda, item DR1, to allow constituents an opportunity for transparency and clarity. On the proposed Climate Resilience District Board formation, which states 2 members of the public appointed by the city and county supervisor be voted upon. We request selection criteria on the requirements used to fulfill these positions. We request to hold a public forum to discuss the aforementioned agenda item in totality at a later date.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Good afternoon. I too ask that we have a motion from a council member to move or postpone this agenda item DR1 to allow constituents an opportunity for transparency and clarity. On the proposed Climate Resilience District Board formation, which states 2 members of the public appointed by the city and county supervisor be voted upon. We request selection criteria on the requirements used to fulfill these positions. We request to hold a public forum to discuss the affirmation agenda item in totality at a later date.
Thank you so much. Next speaker.
Ditto. Motion to move the agenda. I ask that we have a motion from a council member, preferably Gloria, to have a proposal to a motion so we can postpone it. And can we get a second from you guys that we voted for on the council? Preparing the agenda DR1 to allow constituents an opportunity for transparency and clarity on the proposed climate resiliency. District board formation, which states 2 members of the public appointed by city and county supervisor be voted upon. We request selection criteria on the requirements used for these positions. We request to hold a public forum to discuss the aforementioned agenda in totality at a later date. Touche.
Much appreciated, ma'am. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. I too ask that we have a motion for a council member to move or postpone this agenda, item number DR1, to allow constituents on an opportunity for transparency and clarity. On the proposed Climate Resilience District Board formation, which states 2 members of the public appointed by the city and county supervisor and be voted upon. We request selection criteria on the requirements used to fulfill these positions. We request to hold a public forum to discuss the aforementioned agenda in totality at a later date. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Next speaker.
I ask also that we have a motion for council members to move or prepare this agenda item DR/1 to allow constituents an opportunity for transparency and clarity on the proposed Client Reliance District Board formation, which states 2 members of the public appointed by council and county supervisors to vote upon. We request selections criteria on the requirements used to these positions.
Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker.
Afternoon. I too ask that we have a motion from a council member to move our proposal, this agenda item DR1, to allow continuous constituents an opportunity for transparency and clarity on the proposed Climate Resilient District Board format, which states 2 members of the public appointed by the city and the county supervisors be voted upon. We request selected criteria on requirement used to fulfill these positions. We request to hold a public forum and discuss the aforementioned agenda items in totally at a later date.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
I also ask, my name is Charlene Sanders, that we have a motion from the council member to move on, postpone this agenda, item number, on DR1, to allow constituents an opportunity for transparency and also clarity on the proposed climate resilience district board information, which states 2 members of the public by the city and also from the county of supervisor to be voted upon. We request selection criteria on the requirements used to fulfill these positions. We request to hold a public forum to discuss the aforementioned agenda item in totality at a later date. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Ms. Polk. I'm a resident of Inglewood, California. I respectfully ask the council to move forward with Project D1. Moving forward, the connectors here in Inglewood that is definitely needed. We have come this far and we cannot stop now. We have to move forward. As an operator and the first Black woman to be hired as a bus driver on the island of Oahu, I am very familiar with public transportation and what is needed to move people from one point to the other. So I respectfully move that you approve this project and go forward. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, ma'am. What's your name? Ma'am. Ma'am, what's your name? Ms. Polk, we're going to note you in the minutes, all right? First Black female operator in Oahu. In Oahu. Okay, in Oahu. Go ahead, ma'am. Thank you.
I agree that we should have a motion to, for the council member to move or postpone this agenda for DR1 to allow constituents an opportunity for transparency and clarity on the proposed Climate Resilient District Board formation, which states 2 members of the public appointed by the city and county supervisors should be voted upon. We request selection criteria on the requirements used to fulfill these positions, and we request to hold a public forum to discuss the aforementioned agenda item in totality at a later date. I, too, am a bus operator, 83800, with the County of Los Angeles.
Congratulations,
All right.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Chantal Anderson. I am a proud resident and proud small business owner in Inglewood. And I am also asking that we get a motion from a council member anyone sitting up there, to either move or push back agenda item DR1. We need to give the people a real chance to see what's up with this Climate Resilience District Board. It's saying that 2 public members are going to be picked by the city and county supervisors, but we need transparency on that process. Would you let your new gardener mow your lawn without seeing his work first? Would you let a new hairstylist do your hair without seeing her previous experience? I bet none of y'all will walk outside looking crazy or have your lawn looking crazy on the first day, correct? So we're asking for the selection criteria. Like what's required to get chosen for these goals and these spots. Let's also plan a public forum so we can break down the whole agenda item later and really talk about it with our community. We're supposed to be championing the community in the city of champions, correct? But right now it's giving real second-rate energy. So don't play us. Let's do this right. Everyone up there has a responsibility to the community, and if you don't have a responsibility to the community, then you need to not be up there, period.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, Mayor Butts and fellow council members. My name is Tommy Favai. I'm representing the LA Orange County Building Trades Council today. And we're here in full support of DR-1. We know how important, jobs like this when it comes to decarbonization of transportation. For us, for IBEW Electrical Workers Local 11, we're currently in a mini recession. We got over 1,000 trades, skilled and trade journeymen and apprentices out of work. That's 10% of our workforce here in Los Angeles County. We currently have 450 of our IBEW members that live here in Inglewood, and we need to push these type of projects and this formation of this board forward. We like to see, we urge the city council to not postpone this and to move this resolution forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. Council, Mayor Butts. My name is Odesh Riley. Born and raised in this city. In elementary through high school here. My first job was at Inglewood Sports on Market Street, where I've watched electeds for the last 30 years tell us that they were going to get things fixed, get that street turned around, and it still hasn't. Now we have a group of people who are trying to move things forward, and we have progress happening in the city. Everything's not always going to be perfect. Everything's not always going to be exactly how you want it, but things are moving along. And for me, I'm here to support this project because I believe the 10,000 jobs that it's going to bring in are the kind of jobs I would have loved when I was trying to find a job when I was younger. Getting rid of some of the traffic that we have when they have a Clippers game and then a Chargers game coming, it'd be great so that you can get home faster. Like for me, I work downtown. My office is here, a small business. I commute every day from 400 South La Brea home. And when there's a game going on, it's crazy. So if we could get some people on the train, elevated, and to get home a little faster to see my son, I greatly appreciate it. So for me, I support this project, and I hope you guys can get it moving.
Thank you, sir. Next, ma'am. Now everybody listened. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Steve Cotton. I am an Inglewood resident, and I am the owner of the Inglewood Clothing Store. It's a souvenir shop that everyone goes to when they attend the sports arena, the Clippers games, Rams, and Chargers games. I am in support of the ITC project. Inglewood and our sports arenas, our venues are creating great economic growth in our city and has started a renaissance, but the traffic has been a major problem. The ITC will allow people to attend sports and entertainment events without driving a car, and it will reduce traffic and stress. We want to bring more people to our city, and we want to support this project. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Salvador George, and I represent the 90,000 carpenters out of the 12 Western states. I'm here in support for the DR1 ITC project to move forward. We actually run an apprenticeship program, brand new apprenticeship program right down the street here on Central, right off the 91 freeway. And I can tell you, we've seen major change in our community with our youth going through that apprenticeship program, learning the skills to be able to provide for themselves without relying on safety net programs. These are the types of jobs that provide our community with good wages, excellent benefits, and a long-term career to where they can not only help themselves, but join the middle class. These are the types of jobs that we need in our community. We need our folks to be able to stay in the middle class and be able to provide for themselves. As far as our leadership here in the city, we've seen a lot of major projects successfully being completed by the leadership that we have here. So you have our full support, and we believe that with the decisions that you make here today, this project will be completed successfully. There was an Intuit Dome that was just finished, and I can tell you that after that Intuit Dome was completed, there's a lot of youth in the community that are going to the apprenticeship program right now, and it is currently stalled because there is no additional projects in the community to put them back to work. In order for them to complete their apprenticeship program, they need to have the training at the training center, and they also need the hours to be done on the job site, right? And this Inglewood Transit Connector would be able to provide that and bridge that gap to make sure that they're able to complete their apprenticeship successfully and not fall out of it. So we're here in full support of the project. We look forward to seeing it move forward, and we're definitely have the people here, the brothers and sisters, to be able to get on that project and build it successfully and safely. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Last speaker.
How you guys doing today?
Hi.
My name's Damari Wilson. I'm a resident on 80th Street. I want to see about the ADU, like see who I speak to about that.
Hold on 1 second. Amari, so here's what we got to do. This is for an item that's on the agenda. I don't think there's anything on the agenda about ADUs, but at the end of the meeting, there's a minute for you to ask any question that you have related to city business. Is that good? Okay, so,
After this, I could just speak to you by any chance? Just
yeah, of course you can.
All right, thank you.
And in fact, we have the housing manager here, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right,
All right, thank you.
all right. Okay, with that, we'll close public comment. And
Mr.
we'll go-
Mayor, may I be recognized?
We're going to wait till we go to an agenda item, and we'll be glad to do it. So just
I'd
one.
like to do it before we consider any agenda item.
Councilwoman Gray, are you trying to talk about an agenda item?
I'd like to talk about pulling an agenda item, and I understand you need to do it at the beginning of the meeting, so.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to do that.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you to the public for coming out today. I thank everyone for their comments. And I've heard, we've all heard perspectives from our constituents, and the majority of the constituents that I've heard today really would like to learn more about the ITC project. And I've heard needing and wanting transparency, input, clarity. And it's a very major project that this council will have to consider. It's a $2 billion project. I don't think anyone is against job development. I thank the carpenters for coming out. And no one is certainly against traffic mitigation. We understand there are a lot of cars that are in the city, especially on the day that those venues are being are used. But this project is so important to the residents, is what I hear, that they really want to learn more about it. It's about transparency, knowing what will happen in this community, what the residents will have to face if this project moves forward. So I would like this council and the mayor to consider pulling this item until further clarity and giving, and the community will have an opportunity to have some of those questions answered. And so I would like to have a motion. I am making a motion to pull DR1, and I hope that someone on this council will second that motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Here,
may I?
go right ahead.
As this body's well aware, the agenda is actually the city manager's agenda, and this is a portion on my agenda. If it was a council initiative, of course, you can pull it at any time. And I would just ask the councilwoman from District 1, if I could have an opportunity perhaps to respond to some of the comments before you take up the issue of pulling my item.
Okay, well, we're not going to pull it because we haven't come to it. So we've heard her comment, then we'll go on down and we can deal with that at the time we call DR1. So item 1, CSA 1 and H1,
Won't register.
receive and file. We go on to the consent calendar. Items 2 through 10.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Gray.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. Now we come to DR1.
Staff report recommending the mayor and council members adopt a resolution appointing the following individuals to the Inglewood Climate Resilience District Board. 1, Mayor James T. Butts Jr. 2, City Council Member Eloy Morales Jr. And 3, Roberto Chavez.
Okay.
I'll move approval, but with a comment, Mayor.
Okay. Before we go to comments, is there a second?
Second.
All right. Go ahead and comment, then we'll take up the councilwoman's motion.
No, I
ahead.
wanted to address that too. I mean, I understand, you know, where she's coming from in terms of knowing as much as we can about the project. Today, I'm acting on it because I know it's mostly ministerial to form a board for the CRD, and regardless of the future of the project, the CRD will remain in place as far as I understand it. Is that correct, Mr. Weinberg?
Yes, absolutely.
So if that happens and the project doesn't come into fruition, we would still be able to use that for certain uses, right? So we'd have that available.
Absolutely. You'd also have the option to disband it.
So at that point, so that's why you know, it's ministerial in that nature. Now, I also want to take the time to say that I understand all the comments. I understand them. We all have certain things we want to know about the project, which are getting worked through. Some of the items that you'll see here in the future will answer a lot of your questions, and it'll put us in a position where we need to act, you know, to move it forward or to ask more questions or to decide if it's not for the city of Inglewood. So a lot has been talked about, both in the paper and otherwise, but it's part of the process. And I can assure you that all of us here are going to study it very closely. You know, it's funny, but, and Mayor, I hopefully don't go over, but
You're not over yet.
you know, we all get classified, right, based on what we say, based on what we do. So people think, oh, this person's pushing it, this person's not pushing it, et cetera, et cetera. But we all have the same thoughts. We all, you know, are trying to base it on what we know. So while we're going through that process, hopefully you'll see that happen in terms of where we land. And then you can speak at that point. You'll see some big milestones coming, which will either keep the conversation going or not. We're going to take into consideration everything. You know, how it impacts our quality of life here, how it impacts our economic development, what value does it actually bring to the residents versus what value it brings to the entertainment districts. Those are things we all have in mind. You know, and the one thing, you know, that we'll begin to do is kind of discuss those things. So today, we're moving forward with establishing this board, and you will start to see that discussion take place in a way that will inform you quite a bit. So those are my comments, Mayor.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, Mr.
Councilman Padilla.
Great, thank you, Mayor. So, you know, first off, I appreciate the folks that come out here to let us know your concerns, your thoughts, your ideas, the impressions that you have regarding something that's important. And creating this CRD, it's not something that's taken lightly, and it's not anything that's being done without taking transparency and clarity into account. That's why we have this meeting, right? Being transparent. This isn't a shamalama, fake left, go right. We're gonna squeeze this through. We had this on the agenda last year last week, and they got pulled. There's no, you know, mystery to it. There isn't, right? You're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to let us know as your elected officials what your thoughts are on the project. And then we take all of that into account and we make our decision that we believe is best for the residents, for the businesses, and the visitors that are going to be coming to our community. And so as part of that transparency that I heard so many people mention, there's been tons of community meetings.
Over 200.
There's been, well, over 200 town hall meetings where this ITC project
Yes.
has been discussed in length. We've had presentations here on the dais with Lisa Tripoletti sitting over here and other of our administrative staff. And we've always availed ourselves to talk to our residents, talk to our community members if they have any issues or concerns, so that we can try to address those with you. So there is no, in my opinion, lack of transparency. There is no fake left, go right. More of people just want information. That maybe they, hold on, sir.
Ma'am,
Sir.
ma'am.
Sir, we listen.
We can't do that.
Sir.
We can't speak out.
He meant sir.
Okay.
But, so, you know, it's our opportunity to make a comment. So we take all that into consideration. And one thing I've always said, it's important for us to have integrity. That's the cornerstone of what we do. That is what we based everything we do in our life concerns. And I know there was a meeting last night I heard where folks went to discuss this, and that's cool. That's great. There's no problem with that. We love it. Community engagement is important for our city. And so with that, I want to thank all of you for coming out.
Councilwoman Gray, there's one thing that I do want to note is that we've had over 200 community meetings in the senior center, here in council, here in Community Room A, at various venues throughout the city, town hall meetings in District 4, District 1. This is one small component of a project that's been in progress for about going on 5 years now. A project that we have assembled about $2 billion in grants from commitments from the state, the county, and the federal government. So this is not anything that, quite frankly, has been like behind the scenes. It's also available on the web information. Your council person has full access to every document that's been generated. So I just want to make that clear that this one portion of the project, this is a small piece of it. Now with that, we're going to take up the substitute motion. And is there a second for Councilwoman Gray's motion? Okay. Okay, so it dies for lack of a second. Madam Clerk, could you call a roll?
I'd like to have comments, Mr. Mayor.
But
I
you-
asked to be recognized
You did.
before the vote.
I allowed you to be.
I have additional comments.
Okay.
I have
Okay, all
additional
right.
comments.
All right, go right ahead.
Yes, thank you. I thank you to my colleagues, the two councilpersons, and this is no disrespect to them, but if this item was as transparent as you've kind of conveyed to the audience, I don't think you would have people here saying it's not. It's a need to have more transparency. That's obvious. It's obvious. You speak about 200 meetings. At the meeting last night, I think there were 3 people, and I did attend that meeting. 3 people out of 50-some people who even heard of ITC. So there is a need for transparency. There is a need for the community to know. They don't know that it will cost approximately $30 million to maintain this project if it's approved. It is a $2 billion project. It may take 3 years. It will disrupt businesses that are on Prairie and many other businesses. That is a concern to this community. It is a concern. No one is saying that they don't want more jobs to come to this city and they're not concerned about traffic, but is that the correct project to mitigate the traffic? It should be a full discussion where the community has input. Yes, I have had town hall meetings. Yes, Lisa Tripoletti has made a presentation, but the points that are important to this community is what the cost would be to the people who live here if it's approved. And so it's not about saying have all these things that you've done in the past. It's about listening to people who want to know about what's happening in this city. And that's exactly what it's all about. And that's why you have people here. And I believe in transparency. I believe in informing the community so they can have input. I don't believe in just having an agenda in a 15-minute meeting. People need to ask questions. They need to know. And so that's what you see today. Again, it has nothing to do with saying that Councilman Morales should not be on the board. I support that. But it also says that there are others that should be on that board that are from the community, because this project will be in the community. And that's what you hear today. And so I will not be supporting it for that reason. I will not support DR1. No disrespect to Councilman Morales, but out of what this community needs, I will not support it because we need to discuss it. And milestones have been made. The mayor already talked about the money that's been invested in this project. So before it moves forward, people want to know what it means to them, how it will impact them, what will it cost them?
Okay. Okay, we're going to call time. Madam City Clerk, could you call the roll?
Yes, Mayor. Council members Gray,
No.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. A1,
Nothing to report, Mayor.
CM1,
No oral reports.
thank you. CC1,
Yes, Mayor. Real quickly, just wanted to remind our residents that early voting begins this Saturday, on Saturday, so you can begin voting. And that's all, Mayor. Thank you.
thank you. Now we're on to public comment on other matters. Sir, you had a question. This would be your time. You already took care of it? All right. Okay. One minute. These are other city matters.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council people. I am Phyllis Battle, Arts Commissioner for the 3rd District, Councilman Morales' district.
Hey.
At our meeting on last Wednesday, a lot of talk was going on about all of the arts things that's going on in the city, which is absolutely wonderful. I've been in Inglewood since '99, and this city has really grown. However, I feel it is imperative to really start thinking about developing a cultural arts department for this city. I know we just got moved from Parks and Rec to the library, which is wonderful. The library is looking beautiful, but I really do think as this city grows the way it is, that we definitely need a cultural arts department, and I hope that the committee thinks about that. And I'd love to be on that committee if it's ever developed.
Thank you, ma'am. And also, before anyone leaves, that's Carly Katona. She has a yellow pad there. If you would want information about the composition of the board, you could leave your name, phone number, and email address, and we'll be glad to make sure you get the information. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay, we have a problem with this parking. It says 2 hours that you can park. Okay, we have people going to the game to come down the day before or so and leave a car parked, and it takes up the parking. We call parking enforcement. They say they have 2 hours. We can mark the tires and come back. And then when they come back, usually people gone or something, and that's 2 hours plus the time they left the car. So it must not be enough parking enforcements to enforce. Something's got to be done. And they say you can't ticket until after 5. So what about these people parking, leaving their cars, taking up the parking?
Okay, sir, would you leave your name and phone number with the officer there, and he'll send it to the manager of parking enforcement, and we'll get right on it. Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Mayor and council members. My name is Hervé Gordon. I represent Century Heights Neighborhood Watch Association. I have about 250, about 300 emails for that neighborhood, about 500 homes. And I have to blame myself for not staying as a prize to the people mover, as I call it, situation, because people are asking me questions. So the only thing I would suggest is, one, I find out where I can get information as to the funding. And secondly, there's been questions to me about, will this thing just usher people in the city and out of the city without them stopping to spend money at the local businesses? Thank you for my time.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Gordon, if you leave your name and number with Carly Katona there, she'll get you that information. Next speaker.
Yes, I have a question. We used to have city council meeting in the evenings. Is there any way that we can start having maybe once a month city council meetings? Because there are a lot of people who are still working and they want their opportunity to come in and give their speeches or whatever.
Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker.
Hi, I'm Tanya Efron. I'm a resident of Inglewood, and I just have a couple of questions to like, who do I speak to about some speed bumps on my block and also parking permits? Now, we have some thriving businesses around, which is good. However, it's a lot of valet parking. We come home from work and we don't have any parking spaces. So I just would like to know, what can I do to make sure that we get maybe some parking permits?
What street do you live on, ma'am?
I live on Hillsdale between Eucalyptus and La Brea.
Okay, I don't believe that that's a parking district.
It's not.
That's in Councilman Padilla's district. And if you leave your information with either the sergeant at
I'll reach out
arms,
to you.
then
Okay.
then he'll give you all the information you need.
Okay, one more thing, and also about this alley. Who would I talk to about the alley, about making that a one-way? It's a lot of transits.
Any question you have, you'd contact Councilman Padilla's office.
We'll discuss that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mhm.
Next speaker. 1 minute.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I live 8913 11th, 11th Avenue, 3 houses from, it's 90, it used to be 90th. I don't know what they renamed it. The problem is the parking is $200 and some when they go to the venue. They say, well, if we get a ticket, it's only $51. So it's if they catch us. And then we call the office and they say, well, Mr. Woodson, everybody's at, all the traffic people are at the game. So can you guys think about a solution? Because they would rather pay $51 for a ticket than to pay for $200 for a parking. So can you guys keep that in consideration and see what you can come up with to make it more meaningful? Because other than that, it's a joke. They say we won't get caught, and if we get caught, it's only $51. Thank you.
That's a good point, sir. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon to the mayor and to the council. My name is Ricky Tyrone Farrell Jr. I am the pastor of the Greater New Bethel Baptist Church located 601 East 99th Street in this city of Inglewood. Each month we have 2 food banks giveaway, the second Tuesday, the fourth Thursday. This Thursday at 10 a.m., between 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., we will be having our last food bank of this month. And those who are in need, if you can pass the word, we want to make sure that we are able to meet the community's needs best way we can. Thank you.
Appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Hi, my name is Charlene Sanders, and I'm on Buckthorn, and the parking is horrible. This past Saturday, when they had the game, I had to go out and get a gentleman out of the parking, out of the driveway, and he said, I'm waiting for someone. I said, you're not going to wait here. And he stayed there, and I turned the water on him. And I called parking enforcement. And 2 other people were standing in the driveway, and they were kissing and hugging. And then you had the people movers come over there. Then they park their cars. They go inside of them when they come back from parking, and they urinate and then pour it outside. They've got to do something. And they told me at parking enforcement, and I called them, that the city of Inglewood made the parking, signs and things, so they can park there for 2 hours, and they just cite them, and then they can come back. But he was right when he said they paid the money. They don't care. They don't give a fat rat about nothing. You got to do something about it. It's on Buckthorn. Thank you.
What is your cross street, ma'am?
100 block of Buckthorn?
233, and it's between La Brea and Prairie. And they do it every time they have a game.
Okay.
And when the Kansas City Chiefs comes, I'm a football person. It's going to be terrible. But I will turn the water on anybody.
Okay, well, you've got the solution, all right? With that, we'll close public comment, and there are no appointments of boards, commissions, and committees. Mayor and council remarks, 3 minutes. Councilwoman Gray, District 1.
All right, thank you. Yes, I'd like to indicate that this past Saturday, unfortunately, I attended a funeral services for a longtime resident and friend, Lula Body. She and her husband has lived in District 1 on 6th Avenue for many, many years, and her husband passed away a few years ago. And so Lula passed away recently, and so her service was this past Saturday, and so may she rest in peace. Just another comment, she and her husband had been married for 60 years.
What was her name again?
Lula Body on 6th Avenue.
Okay.
I also attended the city's Halloween family event on the South Lawn this past Saturday. Kudos to the staff. They had a wonderful event in the sense that there were great opportunities for the kids to have fun, a lot of family activities and kids' activities. They even had a costume contest for the kids, and I think they did it by ages, so I saw a lot of the kids dressed in their Halloween outfits, but kudos to the staff. I applaud the staff. They always put on a good event. And so I did attend that. This is at the event. On the left side is the principal of Inglewood High School, and the other is a community member. Next picture. Taste of Soul. I bet everybody in this room has heard of the Taste of Soul. And so that also was last Saturday. Last Saturday was really, really busy. And as usual, Danny Bakewell and his sister, Pam Bakewell, they put on a great event. I believe this was the 19th year. Can't believe it's been 19 years since its inception. But it's a wonderful community event. It's thousands of people that come out and enjoy the music, the food, and just being with community members. It's always a friendly event. I've never heard of any activity that would cause you not to be there. And they have wonderful entertainment, huge event blocks. And so this is a picture of a couple of people who were there, Robert Sacedo and Fagan, and that was at that particular event. And on Sunday, quickly, I went to Greater New Bethel Baptist Church. Pastor Ricky Farrell, you can see him there, and you can see his parishioners commemorating or celebrating Breast Cancer Awareness Month. They all wore pink, and I have pink on today to commemorate Breast Cancer Awareness Month and encouraging folks to please get tested, men and women. And so thank you, Pastor Farrell. It was a great message, and thank you to your congregation. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's it.
Thank you. Councilman Padilla, District 2.
Great, thank you, Mayor. A couple of quick things. Just a reminder, this October is also Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month, and it's about remembering infants and babies that have gone on way too soon. We've all had family members that have suffered a loss like that, so this is the month that we really recognize and give prayers for the families to sustain them during those difficult times. Also on November 8th is the Inglewood Open Studios Art Walk coming up. It's really nice because we have so many artists here in the city of Inglewood, and they open up their studios so our residents, our visitors can go through and take a look at all the artwork that is here in the city of Inglewood. You don't have to go anywhere else. We have it all right here in Inglewood. Up on the screen, Friday I had a chance to go to the Serving Spoon, which is on Centinela Avenue. It's been there since 1983, and the owners are now the son and daughter. Jessica and Justin, they received a resilience award from the Southern California Gas Company to help them with everything they're doing to keep their business running. And so they've been a big part of our mom and pops restaurants that are here in Inglewood. And if you've never been to the Serving Spoon, I mean, you owe it to yourself. It is the bomb food. So I will tell you that. So congratulations to Jessica and Justin, brother and sisters that took over the business. And then we have our Chief of Police, Mark Fronarata. He was recognized last week was Boss's Day, and I want to just give him a shout out. His police officers and sworn and non-sworn personnel recognized him for the work that he does as a leader and a mentor for our police officers here in the city of Inglewood. So congrats to Chief Fronarata. Oh, look at that little cutie pie. She just born yesterday. So my assistant, Ramon Quinones, I'm trying to get a hold of him, and he's like, the phone's ringing and ringing. I'm like, dude, that's not like him. He's pretty responsive. Well, he was in the hospital waiting for his little granddaughter, his first, to be born, and there was no cell phone reception. So finally, he walked out and he called me, all excited. So, his Theora Quinones, his son's baby, was born yesterday afternoon. So congratulations to our newest grandparent, abuelito, as we would say, my sister Ramon Quinones. And so now we also have,
We're coming up on time.
give me 1 minute, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
So I have,
It's been over. Okay, go ahead, sir.
I'm gonna use up Dion Fox 3 minutes since she's not here. She told me I could. But we have somebody here amongst us in the crowd that was just recognized by the California Association of Code Enforcement Officers and received the Bruce Dunham Award as the Code Enforcement Manager of the Year, right? Amongst all other cities, sitting right here, and I know he's getting embarrassed, Jerry Tucker. Jerry, congratulations on that well-deserved award. You talk about Johnny on the spot. Anytime we call him and his staff are there for us. So thank you, Jerry. Well-deserved. Now, unfortunately, I'd like to close in the memory of Amelia Perez. She is the wife of one of our Inglewood Police Department sergeants, Pedro Perez, who passed away last week. Her son Michael also works here at the police department in the jail, and it was a sudden thing. And so our thoughts and prayers are with the Perez family, and may her soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Councilman Ella Morales, District 3.
I'll start with Jerry Tucker. Congratulations. I was going to mention, I have to say that has got to be one of the toughest jobs that there is. We have to call him and say, hey, there's a food vendor over here and a small business owner restaurant is complaining, so he's got to go address it. Feeling bad about it sometimes. Sometimes he has to talk his way through and help them. And, it's amazing, some of the stuff that was talked about for Buckthorn. I mean, he'll probably get the call on that. So, those aren't easy tasks. And to be the number one guy, you're either really mean or really good. So, anyway, going back to, I do want to comment, Councilwoman Gray, thank you for your comments in regards. I know you're not against me. I know you just have questions. But I want everybody to know we all do. And this is not done yet. Right, so we're going to start those conversations. We hope you guys are open to listening to them. And if it makes sense for Inglewood, it'll happen. If it doesn't make sense for Inglewood, it won't happen. That being said, moving on, I want to say that I was at the Hollywood Park groundbreaking for the Cali Hotel. Amazing. I don't know how many stars. Only me and Chris showed up, by the way. The bottom line is, I have to say, it just screams volumes for where Inglewood is going. It's a first-class hotel. And the story about how they actually chose that builder and the person that's going to be opening the hotel just kind of is a signal for how much interest there is in our city, how much interest there is from venues that are really first-class venues. And then to hear the sentiment of the folks that are part of it. The gentleman, actually, the owner, he started here as a doctor in Daniel Freeman in 1984, did he say?
Yes, 1984.
1984. And so from there, he said he left, moved on with his life, and always kept Inglewood on his mind because he just enjoyed the people here so much. And now that he can do a project like this, he was really happy to be chosen. So the story was awesome. Another thing, they're gonna build it in something like under 600 days. Under 600 days. So, it's the same company that built the pyramids. Well, there's a,
Something like that, right?
yeah. Anyway, I have to say that the pictures were amazing, but just to see the excitement around Inglewood, just to see it, that's what the best is. So I don't know if you have other pictures, Thomas, of everybody else, because me and Chris, we're done up there. Thank you.
Okay. I guess I have a picture of that same groundbreaking. It's a shame about being last, but it was in 2013, we broke ground for the renovation of the Forum. And then in 2018, groundbreaking for SoFi, then NFL Networks, then the YouTube Theater, then the Youth Orchestra Program Los Angeles, then the Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles moved here. And then today, we had the groundbreaking for the Kali Hotel, and it will mean probably about $3 million in transit occupancy tax revenue for the city. And so things just keep moving ahead. And the city has never been on an arc like it is today. And so we have groundbreaking after groundbreaking, so many shovels. We don't have any groundbreaking shovels. We don't have any place for them. And so with that, I'm going to close the meeting in honor of the wife of Sergeant Pedro Perez, Amelia Perez, Lola Boite of 6th Avenue, and also in the memory of IPD Sergeant Robert Osmus. I was his first sergeant when he came on to the police department, and he passed of cancer recently. And so with that, oh, and one more thing I want to, hopefully everyone will take us up and leave their name, address, phone number, and email address with the ladies at the table.